Tattoo artists, have you ever refused to finish a tattoo? I've been tattooing for 11 years, and I've walked away from exactly 3 pieces in my career. A guy who passed out cold 15 minutes in, a woman whose skin rejected ink like her body had a personal vendetta against art, and this one. This is the one that still keeps me up at night. She walked into my shop one afternoon, early 20s, nervous energy radiating off her like static electricity. She had that look people get when they've been planning something for months and finally worked up the courage. I want something from Star Wars, she said. My mom was obsessed with it, like unhealthy obsessed. She had the original movie poster, a Luke Skywalker lightsaber on her shelf, everything. I nodded along, already sketching rough ideas in my head. Yeah, that's totally doable. We talking about the Millennium Falcon? Specific symbol? Character portrait? That's when her whole demeanor shifted. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small Ziploc baggie filled with gray powder. I have a weird request, she said quietly. Can you put my mom into the ink? I stared at that baggie for a long moment. Something about the way she was watching my face felt off, like she was studying my reaction, testing me. But grief makes people act strange, so I pushed the feeling aside and told her I'd figure out how to make it work safely. I spent 2 full days on that design and researching how to sterilize cremation ashes properly. The day arrived, and she showed up right on time with that baggie clutched in her hand. I designed a quarter sleeve featuring the Millennium Falcon flying through an asteroid field with a Star Wars quote curved along the bottom. She started crying when I saw the stencil. She would have lost her mind over this, she whispered. We got started, and around hour 3, she asked where I grew up. I gave her my usual deflection. Oregon originally, moved around a lot as a kid. She nodded slowly. Then California, right? Somewhere near San Diego? I pulled the needle away. How did you know that? She shrugged. Lucky guess. You have that West Coast vibe. I went back to work, but my skin was prickling now. On hour 5, she asked about my family. I told her my parents divorced when I was young. Your dad remarried though, didn't he? She asked. For a little while, I set down my equipment. Who told you that? She laughed, but it sounded off. Sorry, I'm being weird. My therapist says I ask too many questions when I'm nervous. Tell me about this shading technique you're using instead. I let it go, but I didn't relax. By hour 7, she started talking about her mom unprompted. How her mom raised her alone. How they'd watch Star Wars reruns together every Sunday. How she died 8 months ago from cancer. She never told me who my dad was as a kid, the girl said while I worked on the details. Left me a letter though. Said she wanted me to find him when I was ready. She paused. The letter had everything. His name, where he worked, his whole life schedule. She'd been tracking him for years. My hands stopped moving. Why are you telling me this? I asked. She looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. She made some choices she wasn't proud of, but she loved me. That I know for sure. Then she put her AirPods in and started ignoring me. I decided to keep working until around hour 8. I was finishing the lettering when she looked up at me. I never told you my mom's name, did I? It was Claire. The name hit me like a car crash. I set down my machine and just stared at her. Claire was my stepmother. When I was 14 years old, my father married her. For 2 years, she did things to me that no adult should do to a child. She was supposed to be my mother. When my dad finally figured out what was happening, he divorced her immediately, and we moved across the country to get away from her. I spent a decade in therapy trying to forget that woman's face, and now, apparently Claire's daughter was in my chair, asking me to immortalize my abuser. She told me your name, the girl said quietly. She told me you were my biological father. She said you two dated and your dad didn't approve because of the age gap. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Dated? I was 16 years old. She was my father's wife. She didn't date me. She preyed on me. For 2 years, the girl's face crumpled. She said you'd react like this. She said you'd blame her for everything. She said you never understood what you two had. I realized it then. Claire hadn't just sent her daughter to find me. She'd spent years poisoning this girl's mind, rewriting history, turning herself into the victim. This was her final act of abuse, making sure I'd never escape her, even after she was dead. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall. I don't know if you're actually my daughter. I don't know if Claire got pregnant from what she did to me, or if that's just another lie she told you, but I need you to leave, right now. The girl started crying. Please, I just wanted to meet you. I pointed at the door. Get out. She got up, then turned back. She told me to tell you something. She said, same time tomorrow, Goose. That's what she used to say to you, right? My vision went white after she left. I locked the shop, sat down on the floor, and didn't move for 3 hours.